Hi, I'm Jamie at ProTee. I'm also a PGA golf professional and I'm very excited to share with you the ProTee Golf Simulator. Now, we're set up here to do some putting with the ProTee Golf Simulator. Many people who use a golf simulator sometimes find that putting is a little bit hard, or maybe sometimes it's unrealistic. We're going to try and see if that's true. I think sometimes what happens with amateur golfers is that they don't necessarily always have a good feel for putting. A professional, for example, if you were to blindfold a golf professional and ask them to hit a 20-foot putt, the chances are that they would get pretty close to hitting a 20-foot putt. So we tend to determine length of the stroke and everything else based on what we see. So when we stand over a 20-foot putt, we can clearly see that there's a 20 feet difference, or we can see that there's a distance between ourselves and the hole. When you use a golf simulator into a screen, generally you're only about 8 to 10 feet away from the screen at maximum. So we tend to try and put to what we can see. So there are some little exercises that you can do using the golf simulator. We're going to try and do that now to improve your feel and your distance control and make the putting on a golf simulator a useful tool for your practice on the golf course. So I've got some balls here. We're set up here with a 10-foot putt. Now, as I mentioned, a golf professional can gauge distance with their eyes closed or blindfolded, and that's because they always try to play to a number. So, a golf professional will know what it feels like to hit a 10-foot putt on a particular type of speed green. We're going to try this now on here. So I've got a 10-foot putt. Now I'm not going to focus on what I can see here, I'm just focusing on the number, and I'm actually going to try and make a stroke to match that number.
Well done.
Easy.
We're in the hole. Ouch.
So, how you can use this to practice
10-footer here. I think this can go.
and improve your distance control. And this is an exercise that I actually do on a real green. You can use the same exercise indoors on your golf simulator. Is I will take a bunch of balls and I will work on the two main factors which will determine how far a putt will go. So the two things are the length of the stroke, so that's the length of the swing. Then you have the speed of the swing as well. So when you combine these two things together, you will then start to get a particular distance. So if, for example, you are on your simulator and you make a stroke that is too big and too fast, and obviously that will make the ball go too far. And from that point, you can start to work backwards.
10-footer here. This is makeable.
And you can shorten the stroke. See what that does?
And in the hole.
If you find what you're looking for in terms of the length of stroke and the speed of the
10-footer
stroke,
here.
and you
I
get
think
the
this
result
can
that
go.
you want, then the trick is to try and repeat it. So try and remember how things looked, how things felt. So you're trying to remember how far the club went back and through. You're trying to feel in your hands and arms and upper body the speed in which things moved, and you try and focus on repeating the same action. Lip out.
Oh man.
But if you do this over and over again, just trying to focus
10-footer here. This is
on doing the
makeable.
same thing, seeing the same things and feeling the same things, what you'll start to find is that you start to develop some kind of consistency, and that's how you start to build up a feel. So you can then link that number
10-footer here.
to what
I
you've
think this
learned
can
in
go.
terms of how far you saw the putter move, you felt how fast it moved, and that's how you can use your simulator to start to develop a feel in your putting stroke.